seen. Some things should have remained buried.
Clafo the parasite mawr fi'n ddwn yn y pridd llosg. Clafodd fi am byth am wadi ei olwyn. Nawr codaf o dan a gwaed I ffwrw ei blant anwyl I iffer.
You will find no ancients here, demon. Their race has long since been grounded to dust. Only the cursed and broken remain.
You are the last of the vampires. Your blood has been tainted by Hilden poison.
A Thraig Goch, a relic of the ancient war. The Hilden built contraptions from metal and wood, machines of war. The ancients raised demons and serpents of old, using them as war horses. You're armed with the Soul Reaver. Pierce its skull, and the Thraig Goch will fall.
Ghosts whispering to me from beyond the shadows. The world on the brink of collapse, with creatures I've never seen before, tearing open holes in the air as fire and death rains from the sky. With an ancient beast as tall as a mountain blocking my path. The Thraig Goch should have brought a sword. At least then it would have had a fighting chance. My friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. It is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. You ask me what awaits us when the last human stronghold finally collapses, when the fires die and Nosgoth lies still, as though the world itself is afraid to breathe. You imagine triumph, a land restored, a future shaped by our will alone. But I have lived long enough to know that victory is never the sanctuary the young believe it to be. They dream of clean horizons and righteous purpose, of peace purchased with blood. Nosgoth does not reward such fantasies. She remembers every wound carved into her soil, and she repays each one. You want me to describe the world after the war? Then picture it. Cities that once defied us, now silent as mausoleums. The absence of music where violins once sang in the courts of the Pillars. Their makers burned on seraphim pyres. Order imposed by hands that know only conquest. Peace. That fragile illusion, lasting only until the next zealot decides the world is imperfect. I have seen this cycle. I have been this cycle. The Seraphim believed themselves righteous. The Nemesis believed himself necessary. And I, in my arrogance, believed myself the instrument of fate. Each of us carved our truth into the flesh of this world. Bent double, like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. The graves remain long after our banners rot. You speak of a homeland free from humans, as though purity were a balm. But tell me, what becomes of zealots when their enemies are gone? What becomes of soldiers who have forgotten how to live without an enemy to kill? What becomes of the architects of revolution when the revolution ends? When the last foe is slain, you will discover a truth that haunts every conqueror. The greatest threat to your perfect world will be those who built it. The restless, the wounded, the ones who cannot forget the taste of war. And what will you do with them? Purge them as the Seraphim purged my kind, chain them as the Nemesis chained his empire? Or will you pretend that bloodshed can be unlearned simply because you wish it so? War is not glory. It is not destiny. It is a wound that never closes. I have fought in wars that reshaped the bones of this world. I have razed kingdoms, shattered armies, drowned nations in their own ambition. If you listen just for a moment, you won't find silence. Never again will you know peace. The screams of every soul are carried in the clouds. You will see the torn, broken faces, scattered limbs fractured like a broken mirror. You gaze upon your reflection. A blood-stained face looks back, and then, if you have any shred of honor left, you swear a vow. No one else will suffer as I have suffered. No one else will bear this curse, not while I still draw breath. That is the only promise worth making in war. For a time, silence, a wound in the soul, left to heal. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If, in some smothering dreams, you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face like a devil sick of sin. There is never a winner. From the moment the first sword is swung, the first child is murdered, first school is torn apart by fire, there can never ever be a winner from that. A momentary victory, perhaps. But the second a mother cries out as her entire family are crushed below a mountain of stone is the second we all lost. War cannot be won. And all of us are conquered regardless of which side you stand on. And the only winner is death itself. Ve victis, woe to the conquered. Woe to all of us. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori.